Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. Not too long ago, I made a video talking about the origins of Eastern and Western philosophies. In that video, I pointed out that philosophy is a product of social and political environment. In ancient Greece, for example, the small size of each city-state made it possible for its citizens to participate directly in public discussions and debates. Public debates demanded logical reasoning and thinking. As a result, philosophy flourished. In ancient China, which gave birth to several world-famous philosophers, the turmoil of a warring states period urged people to think deeply about the nature and the role of human beings within it. Those people who engaged themselves in thinking tried to come up with the solutions to social and political problems. Some were looking for ways to restore political and social order. Others were searching for individual happiness. As a result, the Warring States period witnessed remarkable cultural flowering, which culminated in the so-called 100 schools of philosophical thinking. In fact, all the major classic philosophies that have influenced Chinese civilization to the present day were rooted in this period. Three schools of philosophical thinking emerged: Legalism, Daoism, and Confucianism, all of which have had their impact on Chinese political and cultural traditions, albeit to different degrees. Since I have made videos about Confucianism and Daoism before, today I want to focus on legalism and briefly compare it with Daoism. As a school of philosophical thinking, legalism was more about government than about individual life. It was quickly accepted as a political ideology by the rulers of the Qing dynasty, which ruled China for a short period of time in the 3rd century BCE. Prominent legalist philosophers were promoted to high-level government official positions, and legalist policies were implemented. As a matter of fact, the law and order brought by the Qing dynasty were successful experiments of legalism. It was the first time a philosophical system was applied to political governance. With legalism as its central governing idea, the Qing dynasty adopted a practical and ruthlessly efficient approach to political control and achieved social stability. Legalism has no single founder. Instead, it was founded by a group of people who had similar ideas. Among its most famous proponents and contributors were Shangyang and Han Feizi, both of whom were high-level government officials of the Qing dynasty. According to them, human beings were fundamentally base and selfish by nature. Because of this inherent selfishness, people were more likely to do wrong than right. If such a human nature was not controlled, society would be in chaos. Based on this assumption, legalists developed 3 major principles. First and foremost, there should be law or principle. And more importantly, laws should be harsh because laws are effective only if punishments are severe and certain. Laws should be written in clear language and made public. People obey laws only when they are sure that they would be otherwise punished. Finally, for government to be successful, laws should be powerfully enforced no matter what the cost is. When laws are successfully enforced, social order is guaranteed, according to legalism. The second component is legitimacy and power. The ruler holds power not because of himself, but because of the legitimacy of his position. The emphasis here is not the wisdom or virtuosity of the ruler, but the power of the position. According to legalism, social harmony cannot be assured through the recognition of the virtue of their ruler, but only through strong state control and absolute obedience to authority. People obey laws only when there is a strong central government and unquestioned authority. The third component is method, tactic, or technique of ruling. The ruler should know how to rule by properly assigning work to his officials. But the ruler should also be able to manipulate power in such a way that he will not be criticized for any wrongdoing by his officials. Government officials should be held accountable for their mistakes, while the ruler's name should never be tarnished and his authority should never be diminished. According to legalism, when people are not governed by a capable, strong, and strict ruler, they become disrespectful of authority. Now, let me briefly talk about Daoism. By the way, if you want to know more about Daoism and its founder Lao Tzu, please check out my video on Daoism. The central concept of Daoism is Dao, which can roughly be translated into English as path or the way. However, Dao is an elusive and mysterious concept which even the Daoists themselves did not generally specify in clear terms. According to Daoists, Dao does nothing, yet it accomplishes everything. It regulates natural processes and nourishes balance in the universe. It embodies the harmony of opposites. Such harmony exists between yin and yang, which are opposing but mutually complementary principles of the universe. Yin is negative, while yang is positive. Yin is passive, yang active. Yin is cold, yang hot. Yin is female, yang male. Tao embodies the cooperation and harmony of these opposites. There would be no love without hate, no light without dark, no male without female. The natural cycle of change in the universe is a product of their continual interplay. The concept of yin and yang in Daoism is best represented by this symbol. Yin is the dark-colored portion of the symbol and represents the female, passive, earthly, and core aspects of the universe. Yang is the light-colored portion of the symbol and represents the male, active, light, and heavenly aspects of the universe. It is the same with human society, in which everything is and must be kept in perfect balance. If the principles of Tao govern the world, it follows that human beings should remain passive and do nothing, because there is no guarantee that the balance or harmony would not be harmed if people take action. To the Daoists, living in harmony with Tao is to retreat from any action which would only create chaos and confusion. Reflection and introspection are the only things people should do, by which they learn how to live in harmony with nature. If everyone did so, the whole world would be in perfect harmony. In one word, the essence of Daoism is action through inaction. Among the three schools of philosophical thinking, legalism was the first to be adopted as a political ideology during the Qing dynasty. To a large degree, legalism helped achieve all the other philosophies try to achieve, that is, the unification of China. In this light, legalism was a success. But in the long course of Chinese history, the legalist principles of government were far from popular. Few political leaders or philosophers have openly associated themselves with the legalist school. This is mainly because the brutal implementation of legalist policy by the authoritarian Qing rulers quickly led to the collapse of the Qing dynasty. It is also because the legalist philosophy lost its appeal and credibility due to its advocacy for brutality. An example of its brutality is the fact that hundreds of Confucius scholars were buried alive, and thousands of Confucius books were burned during the Qing dynasty simply because Confucianism was different from legalism. Daoism, on the other hand, has been far more influential than legalism in Chinese history. Daoism was more appealing partly because it emphasized personal growth and self-improvement, which resonated with many people who were looking to improve their lives. It was also because Daoism was concerned with both the physical and the spiritual aspects of human existence, which appeal to those who are looking for a comprehensive understanding of the world around them. Incidentally, Daoism is considered by some people as a religion because of its spiritual aspect. The specific differences between Daoism and legalism are obvious. First, while legalists view human beings as evil and selfish by nature, Daoists regard humans as just a part of nature, no better than anything else. Second, legalism is primarily concerned with politics, including legal systems and administrative policies. Morality and human nature were completely irrelevant in legalism. On the other hand, Daoism is primarily centered on notions of ethics and personal spirituality. Third, while legalism promotes action, Daoism advocates inaction. For Daoists, it is a waste of time to try to solve problems that could not be solved by external force. Finally, legalism holds that a strong and powerful government is the solution to chaotic and confusing realities. However, Daoism assumes that too much government, even good government, can only create problems. As the Lao Tzu, who was the founder of Daoism, put it, govern a large state as you would cook small fish. Do not stir too much. Well, that is all that I wanted to talk about today. But before I go, let me make one more point. As I said at the beginning, Daoism is based on the assumption that human beings are selfish by nature. As a matter of fact, all major philosophical theories are based on different understandings and assumptions of human nature. How you understand and interpret human nature will determine your opinions about everything else in human society. I will make more videos discussing this view of mine in my future videos. Please subscribe if you are interested. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.